Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. We will hear more about them later.
Hello and welcome to this video that I cannot believe I have not made before. Maybe it's because part of me didn't really want to touch this topic. It can be sensitive, controversial, all that stuff, and I don't know, I'm just feeling a little bit like whatever, let's just talk about it because it's really important and I see this constantly. I have been vegan for a very long time. I started my vegan journey about 16 years ago in 2006. I phrase it that way just because it took me like 6 years to really figure it out, and that's really a beautiful part of my journey that I'm actually really grateful for because it's helped me really relate to a lot of people. I think a lot of people see vegans online and they just like look, oh, it just is so easy for them. It was not easy for me in the beginning. I would be like vegan for a really long time and then I would have a donut. It's always donuts, or brie cheese for some reason, or Del Taco. Like one of those three things would be my downfall. Anyway, I talk all about this in my free training, which you should check out, link below. At any rate, I've been vegan for a long time, and I have seen so many people go vegan and stop being vegan, people I know in real life and people that I just see online. And actually, this particular topic, I still needed clarity on about 7 years ago. Yeah, I was really stuck in this mindset, stuck in like a perfectionism mindset about diet. And truth be told, I am just so glad for all of the things that I went through because I truly think I can share all of this stuff with you and with all of the people who are trying to figure out this whole vegan thing and who want to go vegan, whether it's for the animals, the planet, or their health, or a combination of any of those reasons. And I think that I can shed some light. It's like, honestly, as I get older, not just like general maturity, but just like doing this lifestyle for so long successfully and thriving and sustainably and loving it, and literally every day, every single day, I have this part of me that just goes, oh, I'm so grateful for this lifestyle. I love being vegan and I love plant-based abundance and diversity and, you know, truly embracing abundance, which is just like one of my favorite things about this lifestyle. It's not restrictive, it's expansive, it's abundant, it's beautiful, and it's exciting. So here's the issue. Let's get into it. And let me preface by saying that if you are feeling triggered by this issue or this conversation, just, you know, be respectful in the comments. That's all I ask for. I'm so open to disagreement. I love when people disagree. It helps me grow. It helps other people grow. It helps us see more different perspectives and to just have a more diverse perspective on this very complicated thing called diet. And if you resonate with this topic, I would love to hear from you in the comments as well. Yeah, tell me your thoughts. Unfortunately, I would say about 7 years ago, there was a pervasive message online that, let me back up. Fortunately, 6 or 7 years ago, veganism was the hot thing. Everyone was going vegan. It felt like a boom. It felt like, wow, people are waking up, people are learning about animal welfare, people learning about what factory farming really is, people are learning about what eating plants exclusively can do for your health. It just felt like this amazing sort of explosion online. And I think this was about 6 or 7 years ago. We had a lot of YouTube personalities who got extremely famous and they convinced a lot of people to go vegan, which was so cool. And although I had already started my vegan journey like way before, you know, YouTube personalities was like even a thing. I started my vegan journey before the word plant-based was a thing. So for me, it was so exciting. Like it was like a rebirth of my own vegan journey, and I was like going deeper into learning how to live well. Because I went vegan when I was 18, you know, I had a lot of like unhealthy habits, and not to say all 18-year-olds do. It's just like that's where I was at. Like Like, I was drinking a lot, I was staying up late, I was doing a lot of insomnia and depression, like a lot. Another story linked below, you can check out those videos. And so in my mid-20s, I was going deeper into learning more and more about eating well and eating closer to nature and eating in abundance. I had been restricting and I didn't realize it. Unfortunately, let's get back to that, there was a pervasive message within this explosion online all about how if you go vegan, all of your problems will be solved. And I understand that phrasing something in an absolute like that is kind of sexy. It's extremely sexy. It's really appealing. It's truly like more, it's marketing. It's like, it's how you are supposed to talk to convince people to dramatically uplift their whole life, change everything, and do this extreme alternative lifestyle despite most of the world not even knowing how to pronounce the word vegan. My sweet midwife pronounces it vegan and I love her. I didn't realize it at the time. I was too in it. I was young, to be honest. I mean, I know it's so annoying when you're in your 20s and someone in their 30s refers to 20s being young. I get that's annoying. I felt that was annoying, but that's how I feel now, where I have learned so much. And I truly believe like this gig that I do where I connect with people online, I have a platform and an audience, it has grown me astronomically. Like, I don't know who I would be if I didn't have this experience running this business. In my 20s, I was a little simplistic in the way I thought about things. I didn't quite see the world as complex as I do now. I thought more in black and white terms. I don't want to discount any of the amazing YouTube personalities out there who have done such incredible work to at least get people in the door, like get people started on a vegan journey. And you know, they showcase like their before and afters and like, I have no problems now because now I'm vegan, and if you go vegan, you'll have no problems and you'll become superhuman and you'll never get sick and you'll never have a pimple. The list goes on and on. You'll never be at risk for all of the major, you know, lifestyle diseases, cancer, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, all that stuff. That can be a rather myopic view of diet and lifestyle. And I know it's like, so we want things to fit into boxes. Like, we want it to be black and white so bad. Like, that's our human condition, is like, we really fight against the gray sometimes. And there's like this tension between complexities and just wanting things to be simple. Like, I wish it were just like, go vegan and all your problems are solved. But that's just not the truth. It turned into, if you see someone else or your friend is talking to you and you're like this hardcore vegan now, and your mom is talking to you or your uncle, and they talk about some sort of health problem they have, and you're just like, well, if you went vegan, it'd all go away and you'd feel as good as I feel. Like, I admit I had those thoughts, and it really affected my relationships with a lot of people in my family and friends. So honestly, that's just one issue with this. Like, for those of us who go vegan and we do feel amazing and we heal and we embrace this lifestyle and we just feel so good not contributing to violence, and then it totally taints how we view other people, and it really restricts our empathy, and it keeps us from just seeing the bigger picture. Because when someone shares a health concern, even if they don't see it as a health concern, like if they're like, man, I'm stinky today, and like they don't see that as a health concern, and you're like, if you went vegan, you wouldn't stink. Like, that's not helpful, and there's so much more to the story. The second, and probably, in my opinion, more consequential result of believing that going vegan makes you superhuman is that it puts you at risk of stopping being vegan. Now, I created a course that I'm really passionate about. It's called Vegan for Good. So there's a little like double entendre there, like going vegan for the good of your health, the earth, and the animals, right? But it's also for good, like, let's make it sustainable. Let's make this a lifestyle decision for our lives, because so many people stop being vegan. Actually, most of my friends here are used to be vegans. Isn't that weird? Like, I only have a few vegan friends. Everyone else is like, oh yeah, I used to be vegan. I almost know no one here who didn't at least try veganism before. That's how popular it was 7 years ago. And there are a myriad of reasons why someone might stop being vegan. And actually my sister, Ellen Fisher, has an incredible podcast episode with Colleen Patrick Goudreau, who's one of my friends and colleagues. Yeah, colleagues. And I'd call her even a mentor because she has just infused her whole perspective on veganism is like how I talk. Like you'll hear these like phrases I say and you're like, Colleen said that. Like, yeah, I got that from her for sure. They have an amazing conversation all about like why people stop being vegan. And I think one of Colleen's main understandings is that it's really societal and 100% like that's, I love this episode. Go listen to it for an additional perspective on this topic, or rather on the topic of stopping being vegan. But what I think is that a lot of people went vegan, or even today go vegan currently, with this like marketing promise that going vegan will change everything about your life and you will never have a pimple again. Menopause won't even be a thing for you. You will sleep perfectly and your marriage will be perfect and you will never have debt, like, or whatever, like all these ridiculous, like our brain just goes there. And then a pimple pops up, or you get sick, or you feel a little tired, or you're going through something and a health concern comes up, and then shattered. The illusion of the perfect vegan health, vegan lifestyle, vegan vibrancy is shattered for you because it must have all been a lie. If I have a health concern that comes up while I'm vegan, that means it was all a lie. And I know it's totally natural for us to want to think in black and white. And that's why it's really heartbreaking to hear the message when, like, I think back to myself 7 years ago, like, that's heartbreaking for me because it's very misleading and it's not true. Now, you might be sitting there going, and if you're not vegan, you're like, why are you trying to convince me that veganism isn't gonna change my life or make my life better? Because you as a vegan, Hannah, you want other people to go vegan. Yes, of course I want other people to go vegan. I've just sort of dropped that responsibility to convince people to go vegan. Like there might be a few things here and there where I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to talk about that. It might be convincing, sure, every once in a while. But in general, especially in my life, like outside of my YouTube world or my Instagram world, I don't have that responsibility. Like that is just not interesting to me. And I also don't think I'm necessarily qualified to convince someone to go vegan, especially when it comes to my platform and how I handle conversations like this and connecting with others online. There are so many amazing podcasts, YouTube channels, and Instagram accounts that are so much better at convincing people to go vegan based on, you know, mainly scientific evidence as well as philosophy. For example, like Rich Roll he's an amazing vegan athlete. He's in his 50s. He's like super respected and respected in our community, and he has really amazing doctors and athletes and other people on his show. Or let's talk about James Wilks, who made the documentary Game Changers. You have to watch the documentary Game Changers. It's my favorite vegan documentary of all the vegan documentaries. And then Simon Hill has an amazing podcast called The Proof. Like the Plant-Based Juniors is a great like evidence-based account. There are so many wonderful people out there that do a better job of convincing. I'm here to just like show you how to do it and to show you how to make it sustainable. And it's really like, it's a practice thing and it's a heart thing. And this is a message that I care a lot about, especially like how to make it sustainable. And this is a really big piece, guys. This is a huge piece. To recognize when you go vegan that you're not going to be superhuman. You're still human. And it's beautiful. And being human is complex and messy and can I say the word beautiful again? We have to have a more realistic understanding of overall wellness when we start a diet. It can be really easy to go vegan and just feel like this is the thing that is going to change everything. And maybe it will for you, because it is for like a lot of people, and that's why so many of us are still freaking vegan and loving it and spreading the message. Like I haven't stopped talking about it, but you're still human. And wellness is so much more interesting and gray and complex than just what you eat. Let me paint a picture for you. If someone ate the most perfect diet which is not a term I condone, but let's just imagine there's a perfect diet, except there isn't, right? Let's say they eat like, and let's say the diet's vegan, like a whole foods plant-based diet. They never eat processed foods. They're just like, just so dedicated to greens and beans and grains and tofu and lentils and bananas and mangoes and potatoes, and they eat this like beautifully diverse diet. They're doing everything right. And yet, they don't go to bed on time. They never exercise. They have an extremely demanding 60, 70, 80-hour a work week job. They are bitter. They have resentful relationships that are broken. They're lonely. They never go outside. They never get sunshine. I'm literally just naming like 5 or 6 things. Imagine the health of that person. Are they truly going to experience like perfect wellness? No. And guess what? Even if someone did the perfect diet, exercised perfectly, got plenty of nature time, plenty of sun time, amazing relationships, amazing mindset, and they were born vaginally, and they were breastfed for 2 to 3 years, and they had this like amazing foundation, guess what? They might not feel perfect. Oh. No one feels perfect all the time. Some people still get sick. Vegans are still at risk for certain diseases, and it doesn't mean that the whole thing was a sham or the whole thing was a lie. It just means we need to step back and be a little bit more reasonable about it. And we could still be super excited, guys. Like, I know there's lots of vegans out there watching, and you can still be super pumped on the vegan diet because there's so much amazing evidence, which again, not my job. Like, I don't find it to be my role to explain or convince, but there's amazing evidence to show that vegans are at lower risk for certain diseases, XYZ. But it doesn't mean like just because you go vegan, all your problems are solved. Not to mention, here's another layer, there's so many ways to eat vegan. Like, someone can go vegan and literally drink Coca-Cola and eat French fries all day, eat fried food, like fried donuts can be vegan, technically vegan. Is that healthy? No. And so you see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many layers, it's so complicated, and I think it requires us to be a little bit more reasonable, a little bit more rational. And to be honest, I see people who are caught up in a certain trendy diet that's not vegan, like very, very, very anti-vegan actually. And I see the same messaging. And I'm just like kind of watching because I know it's just all gonna fall flat on its face, because when you tell someone, oh, just eat this way, all your problems will be solved. Like, that's not going to work. We are human beings. We are exposed to environmental toxins. We all have traumas in our life that are stored in our body. I'm a big fan of the mind-body connection. If you can't tell, like, that's something I'm very, very interested in right now. And again, you can't put all your stock in one thing. It's not like it's all mind-body connection. No, it's all diet. No, it's all sleep. No, it's a combination of all of it. It's this beautiful mosaic of health and wellness. For me, I really love the word longevity. Like, for me, I am very interested in living a long, healthy time, a long, healthy life, and dying really fast. Like, I don't want one of those slow deaths. I just don't. I want to be vibrant at 70 years old. Okay, I think I've said my piece. I have so much to say on this topic. If this message is resonating with you, if you are someone who used to be vegan and you want to go vegan again, you are my people. Like, you are who I am here for, to be honest, because like, I feel like this is just such an interesting phenomenon. Anyway, if this message resonates with you, if you're like, yes, perfection, F perfection, I don't want that anymore. I don't want to go into a lifestyle thinking it's just gonna solve all my problems, because it won't. But it might be truly life-changing, and it might be the start to something transformative. If that's you, check out my free training. I have a link below. It's totally free. I recommend like setting aside some time so you can really pay attention. I think a lot of us are like scrolling a lot, and there's so much content out there. I totally understand that. So I'm grateful that you're watching my content and clicking on this free training, because it can be the start of a very sustainable vegan lifestyle where things might start clicking, and it might get you, it might get you back on your journey. Or if you're totally new to going vegan and you're just like very curious about it, click it. I think that's it. P.S. I really want to start a podcast again. Any old Earth to Us listeners out there, that was my podcast years ago with Evan Oliver, and we stopped, and I've saved all my equipment because I know I really want to start a podcast again. But I'm giving birth in like 8 weeks or something, and obviously now's not the time. It's not the time when I have a newborn to start a podcast, but maybe a little bit later. What do you guys think? I love talking. Okay, bye.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace, my favorite website building platform that takes you from A to Z in the website building process without ever hiring a designer. Connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content, manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights all on one easy-to-use platform. Create a community on your Squarespace website with a fully integrated commenting system, use their powerful blogging tools, and manage inventory. Squarespace is my preferred platform because it's incredibly easy to use, fully integrated, and the result is a beautiful website that you can call your own. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Hannah McNeely to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.